Students, in this session, I'm going to explain you about the classification and functions of lipids. What are lipids? Lipids are a family of organic compounds or a group of organic compounds which are insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvents. So whatever the water insoluble compounds are there in the biological system, all those compounds are kept under the group lipids. So generally, broadly, these lipids are classified into three classes. So the lipids are broadly categorized into three classes. They are simple lipids, complex lipids or compound lipids. We can also call them as compound lipids and derived lipids. So first let us know about the simple lipids. Simple lipids means upon hydrolysis, these lipids they yield only alcohol and fatty acids. So they are simple lipids for the esters of fatty acids and an alcohol. So therefore upon hydrolysis they yield only the fatty acids and alcohol. Thus we call them as simple lipids. Again there are two classes of simple lipids. One is triacyl glycerol. We also call them as triglycerides. And the second class of the simple lipids is the second type of simple lipids is waxes. What is the difference between triacyl glycerol and waxes? Of course, both are the esters of an alcohol and fatty acids. In triacyl glycerol, the alcohol is glycerol. Okay, in triacyl glycerol, alcohol is glycerol, and this glycerol is going to be esterified with the three fatty acids, and these triacyl glycerols or triglycerides are commonly called as oils and fats. They are commonly called as oils and fats that we use in our day-to-day life, in our foods. Example for these triacyl glycerols are all the vegetable oils like sunflower oil, safflower oil, groundnut oil, variety of the vegetable oils, and even the fats like butter, ghee, they all are the examples of these triacyl glycerols or triglycerides. The next one is waxes. Waxes are also the esters of the esters of an alcohol and fatty acid, but here the alcohol is a higher alcohol and the fatty acid is a higher fatty acid. Thus, we can say that waxes are the esters of higher alcohol and higher fatty acids. So the waxes, waxes are okay. Some common examples for these waxes are beeswax, and variety of the waxes that are present in the plant and animal kingdom. What are the functions of these waxes? So these waxes are usually they are present in on the cuticle of the leaves of the plants. They are present in the cuticle of the leaves and they are present in the feathers of some birds. Feathers of birds. They are also present in the fur of not all the animals, some animals. Fur of some animals. And also they are also present in the fruits, present on the surface of some fruits. So therefore, so this is the common example. The most common example is beeswax. Okay. In natural, so the most common example is beeswax. And in the plant, in the natural system, in the plant and animal kingdom, we can see the waxes in the cuticle of the leaves, in the feathers of the birds, in the fur of some animals, in the fruits, upon the surface of some fruits. In all these cases, they protect these structures by getting moistened, by getting over moistened. So they give some water repellent properties for these structures. So that's all about the waxes. Now let us know about the complex lipids. So these complex lipids are also called as compound lipids. Why do we call them as complex or compound lipids? Because upon hydrolysis, These lipids, along with the alcohol, along with the fatty acids, they give some additional compounds like phosphoric acid. They give some phosphate ions, or they give some carbohydrate moieties. So some additional compounds are obtained. Upon the hydrolysis of these compounds, along with, I'm repeating, along with the fatty acids and an alcohol, okay, some additional compounds are released from these lipids, and that's why we call them as complex lipids or compound lipids. The common examples or the most common type of the complex lipids are phospholipids and glycolipids. Phospholipids, as their name indicate, you along with the alcohol, along with an alcohol and fatty acids, they give phosphoric acid. So they yield phosphoric acid along with an alcohol and fatty acids. Glycolipids, along with the fatty acids and an alcohol, they yield some carbohydrate moiety, and that's why we call them as glycolipids. So all these phospholipids and glycolipids, they are going to form membranes, plasma membrane or cell membrane, plasma membranes or membrane structures in our cell. Not only the membranes, they are phospholipids are also they are the part of the lipoproteins and all. So therefore, they are going to form some higher structures, like they form membrane structures. Example for the parts, some common phospholipids are lecithin, cephalins, or else technically we say them as phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylserine, phosphatidylethanolamin, phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylethanolamine, phosphatidylserine. These are all some of the examples of phospholipids. So similarly, some examples, common examples for the glycolipids are we can say cerebrosides and gangliosides. Cerebrosides, gangliosides, and even our blood group components are also, they come under these glycolipids. Okay, now let us know about the third class of the lipids, that is derived lipids. Derived lipids are, as their name indicate, either they are obtained due by the hydrolysis of the simple and compound lipids, or obtained by the uh, synthesis of some other compounds by using these lipids. I'm repeating, derived lipids are either obtained by the hydrolysis of the first two classes of the lipids, or they are the higher products which are synthesized from by using these compounds. So some of the common examples, some of the common derived lipids that are present in the biological systems are fatty acids, alcohols. In alcohols, the alcohol may be glycerol or sphingosine or even some other higher alcohols. These are all the hydrolyzed products of the simple and compound lipids. Similarly, the cholesterol and cholesterol esters, steroid hormones, fat soluble vitamins, they are all examples of derived lipids. So students, that's all about the classification of the lipids. Now let us know the functions of the lipids. The first and foremost function or major function of the lipids is they act as stored energy and provisions. So stored form of the energy and provisions. Okay, in the human beings, in the plants, in the living system, the fats are stored, oils and fats are stored, or the lipids are stored in the form of the oils and fats. Okay, so therefore they act as stored form of the energy, stored form of the food. The major form of the lipids that are stored in the form of the food are oils and fats. So the second function is they are the major component of the cell membranes. So they form cell membranes on, or we can say generally we can say it as plasma membrane. Okay. The lipids are the major component of the plasma membranes. The next function of the lipids is protection, insulation and protection. So in insulation and protection in our body, in human beings or in any animals, we have two types of the fats. One is visceral fat. Of course, basically they are oils and fats only. I mean, basically they are fats only. But based on their function, we classify them as visceral fats and subcutaneous fats. So visceral means the internal organs. So these visceral fats means the fat which is going to surround our vital organs. So by surrounding our vital organs like heart, liver, kidney, these organs are going to be protected due to the cushioning effect that is produced by these fats. So therefore by protecting the lipids are going to protect our vital organs. They protect our vital organs by surrounding them organs surrounding them and giving cushioning effect for them. Okay, the next thing is subcutaneous fat. Subcutaneous means just beneath the skin. So the fat is deposited just beneath the skin in the form of the adipose tissues, where by getting deposited in the adipose tissues, it gives insulation to our body and protect us from the extreme cold, and so thus it help in the maintenance of the body temperature. So this is about the subcutaneous fat. So therefore we can say that the lipids are involved in giving the insulation for our body, and also by giving the cushioning effect they protect our vital organs. So the next functions of the lipids is the transport of fat soluble nutrients. They are involved in the transport of fat soluble nutrients. Along with this, they also act as chemical messengers, and some of our neurons are myelinated. They are present in myelinated neurons and thus help in the fast conduction of the nerve impulse or quick conduction of the nerve impulse. Apart from this, some other functions are also there. So prostaglandins, leukotrienes, thromboxane, such compounds are there. Okay, some we call them as icosanoids. So this family of lipids, they are involved in the inflammatory response. So these are some of the functions of the lipids. Students, I am summarizing the functions of the lipids. So the lipids act as major stored form of the energy. The major form of the lipids that are stored in our body are oils and fats, not only in the human beings, in the plant and in the animal kingdom, and even in the bacteria, fungi, okay, in all the organisms. They act as major form of the major stored form of the energy, and here the major lipids that are stored are oils and fats. Lipids are the major components of the plasma membrane. They are involved in giving us insulation and protection. By the visceral fats are going to surround the vital organs and therefore our visceral organs and protect our vital organs by giving cushioning effect. Similarly, the subcutaneous fats that are deposited in the adipose tissues, they give us insulation and insulating ability. The next one is lipids are very essential for the transport of water soluble nutrients. Lipids act as chemical messengers. Some of our neurons are myelinated neurons, and where these myelination is myelin sheath is nothing but the lipid. Okay, sphingomyelin is going to form this myelin sheath, and therefore they are involved in the quick conduction of the nerve impulse. Some of the lipids like eicosanoids are involved in the inflammation. So students, that's all about the function and structure of the lipids.